Welcome in to I Remember My First Time.
Oh man, it has been a long time.
Oh, don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
Damn it.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
Well, I like the sound of that.
where we talk about movies we love with someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
Delightful.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
God, I hope not.
Do we like shitty movies?
Oh, we love shitty movies. Sometimes, even more than good movies.
Are we critics?
Absolutely not.
But do we love movies?
Oh, we love the shit out of movies. And this week's masterpiece is a strong word, but that's what we have written here in the intro, is a 2023 classic, David Fincher's new The Killer.
On Netflix. Didn't even have to see it in theaters. Brand new movie right on Netflix.
It was awesome.
Jacob, I need my heartbeat under 60 beats per minute before we start this podcast.
BJ, if this podcast is good for one simple reason, I don't give a fuck.
I am BJ Leica, and I dress like a German tourist.
Joined as always by me, Jacob Ekus. And Ted Williams may have a career batting of 344, but this podcast is batting 1,000.
We're back, Jacob.
We are back. It has been a minute. Welcome back, all our favorite first-timers.
I'm pretty sure the only person excited about us coming back is your brother.
I mean, you say that, but you've told me that you've been paying attention to Spreaker, and our listenership hasn't gone down.
No, it's not what it was when we were posting consistently, but we still got people listening.
Hey,
so
there's more than just my brother, but shout out to the most frequent guest on this pod, my brother, David Ekus. Are you happy we're back, bro? Are you fucking happy? Because we're happy.
Yeah, he called me like a month ago and was like, "You guys gonna do the podcast anymore? I miss it."
Yeah. The one person that misses it. I believe that. I believe he's the one person that misses it. But yeah, I did a summer job in Michigan, and I thought the internet would be great, and the internet was fucking shit. We tried to record, 3 times?
I think 3, and it just did not work.
I think we got one down that hasn't been released yet, but it was hard to get that one. But hey, we're here.
Let's go. Let's talk about The Killer.
David Fincher's new movie, something we're both excited for.
Starring one of my favorites, Michael Fassbender.
I mean, how are you a better Magneto than Ian McKellen? But then you are. Like, they're both different, but he's so good at it.
Yeah, and he spent some time chasing franchise movies, and they did not work.
What do you mean franchise movies?
The Snowman.
Oh God! What was his Harry Hole?
Harry Hole.
Ugh.
I think he also did Assassin's Creed, which anybody who's played the video game.
I was about to say that, like, that's not going to be a good movie.
It's not going to work.
I know one thing about Michael Fassbender. He has never played Assassin's Creed. Because it's going to be a bad movie. You know it is.
Well, we do have The Killer, described by Netflix as solitary, cold, methodical, and unencumbered by scruples or regrets. A killer waits in the shadow, watching for his next target. Yet the longer he waits, the more he thinks he's losing his mind, if not his cool.
It sounds cool.
It sounds like Michael Fassbender is playing an assassin in a David Fincher movie, which sounds dope as fuck.
Yes. So we were so excited for this movie. Notice I say were.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it. I just want it foreshadowing. We know that I love it. We got to pull all the stops on our first time back. I'm going to foreshadow my own fucking podcast. Excuse the fuck out of me.
Blatant foreshadowing. It's not even foreshadowing. We're just giving it away at this point.
Yeah. But everyone knows that we don't take this shit seriously.
A 6.9 out of 10. This movie's rated on IMDb.
Okay.
86% on Rotten Tomatoes and 72% on Metacritic.
It doesn't surprise me that it scored that high on Metacritic. This seems like a critic's wet dream. of a movie. There's very little plot. There's very little plot holes. The directing is by David Fincher, so all the camera work and all the transitions are fucking phenomenal.
Right. There's still a very Fincher feel to this movie.
Yeah.
And critics love Fincher, and rightfully so.
Yeah, he's incredible. There is a reason we were excited for this movie. It's David fucking Fincher.
So this movie was kind of sort of released in theaters, but it's mainly just a Netflix release.
Yeah.
Do you have that info for us?
So I actually found it on Reddit instead of our always reliable IMDb for the budget. So take that for what it's worth. $175 million. Seems high, but it was in a lot of locations. There was a couple of explosions, and Michael Fassbender and David Fincher.
They're expensive.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, and I think Netflix tends to overpay and over budget for things.
Yeah, I can see that. It premiered at the 80th Venice International Film Festival on September 3rd, 2023. It received a limited theatrical release on October 27th, 2023. It became streaming on Netflix on November 10th. Just as a little, like, that was a bit of trivia I had about the release.
Yeah, so it's the really weird how do streaming services do this new thing with movies.
Yeah.
And I don't know what.
I know
I'm going to let it work itself out. I have no good ideas.
I know recently the strike ended, so they came to some kind of conclusion for the next 2 years. Don't know what it is. Don't care. Thank you for bringing movies and TV shows back. Fuck you, streaming services, for putting that on hold. Fuck you.
You want to go first for your review, or?
Yeah, this movie sucked dickhole. I stayed up until 3:00 watching this movie because I started it late. I was very excited for this movie, and this movie never happened.
Fincher movies are usually really good late night movies.
They usually are, and you usually get a really good twist. It's really thrilling. I wouldn't say I was bored the whole time, but I was never really into it. Okay. And it's a 2-hour movie, and to never that's not true. I was into it. The Obane scene, I was into it because I was still all in on this movie, and I'm like, oh shit, this is starting off pretty good.
It was building that anticipation.
Yeah, and it never really left that level, but but considering that it's David Fincher and Michael Fassbender, I expected it to exceed the level it started on at some point in the movie, and it never happened.
So I'll start off by saying this. This is clearly based on a super generic airport thriller book.
Okay.
There's nothing to this. It is pretty freaking bland as far as the story goes.
I've never read any of those books, so I'm just going to take your word for it.
This is kind of how they are. It's an assassin. There's 4 or 5 cool set pieces, and you're getting into the mind of the assassin. I didn't quite think it was as bad as you did. The movie kind of flew by when I was watching it because I kept waiting for that David Fincher turn.
Yeah.
I waited for the
See, unlike you kept waiting for it. At some point I was just like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I kept waiting for it. I kept waiting for the killer in Seven, Kevin Spacey to show up. I kept waiting.
The Fight Club that Brad Pitt is Edward Norton.
Yes, the Rosamund Pike being
still alive.
Right.
What was the thing you said about Zodiac?
Where kind of Robert Downey Jr. loses the case and Gyllenhaal then becomes the obsessed one.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for that in this movie, and it never showed up.
Yeah.
But while watching it, I was kind of enjoying it during the watch more than you.
Okay.
The ending's terrible. The ending's
oh my god,
awful.
Don't even get me started on the ending. Why don't we start with what we didn't like about the movie instead of what we liked? Because the ending fucking blew dickhole. The ending was horrible. Like, how does this guy earlier in the movie shoot this taxi driver that had nothing to do with anything other than driving the taxi?
That was such a weird choice because he didn't kill any other quote unquote innocent people.
No, he didn't. And then he left.
And that was his first kill.
That was his first kill. And then he left the guy that basically did the whole thing and paid the money for it to happen, didn't kill him. Like, it made no fucking sense. I also didn't like how it just repeatedly how professional this guy was, and he seems like the most unprofessional assassin in the entire world.
Well, the number one rule of storytelling is show, don't tell, right?
Yeah.
So we're told he's a great assassin. We see him fuck up.
The whole movie. Like, we talked about 100 when he was like 158-pound man, 3 9-inch nails to the chest. He's got 7 or 8 minutes. First off, he's 150 pounds. Those 9-inch nails went straight through this motherfucker.
9 inches is a lot.
7,
Did
8
you hear
minutes?
that, honey? 9 inches is a lot.
Yeah. 9 inches is not what you think it is, and neither is 6. What, 6 inches? This many?
He's holding his hands about 2 feet apart while saying this.
Good times. So those were the big things I didn't like. We've come to the conclusion on this podcast that I initially thought I hated narration, and then I found out that I love narration in movies. This movie brought me back down to ground zero.
There is very little dialogue in this. Shockingly little dialogue.
The best part of this movie is the dialogue-driven scene.
Yeah.
And we get it for 5 minutes, maybe 10. Because, Fincher's a genius. Like, that 5 or 10 minutes was incredible and flew by.
And, here's the transition. Speaking of what we liked, it's very Fincher. Fincher's so good. Fincher and Fassbender save this movie from being
dog
absolutely
shit.
Terrible.
Yeah, like I'm saying it's dog shit and it sucks cock and all that stuff. But I end up giving it, spoiler alert, I end up giving it a 5.2.
Yeah,
without Fincher and Fassbender, this movie is like a 3.
I agree. I think they'd boost this up at least 1.5 or 2 points just from those two guys.
Yeah. So very Fincher-like in how the movie was made, the transitions and everything. I love the set pieces. The set pieces were awesome. Cool. I liked what he said about each place. One of my favorite things was New Orleans. He was just like, New Orleans, 1 menu, 1,000 restaurants.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah. It was incredible. It cracked me up so much.
Oysters, gumbo, etouffee, and po' boys. You can get them at any place, and they're all wonderful.
Yep. And fried chicken. Don't forget the fried chicken in New Orleans. Best fried chicken I've ever had in my life. Shout out Brothers Chicken. I don't know where the fuck it's at, but I know it's just off the strip.
You were pretty drunk when you went there?
Numerous times. They were open 24 hours.
Okay.
It was the greatest chicken I've ever had.
I hadn't been there. I'll try it next time I go.
Was it a good or bad movie? It was a bad movie made halfway decent because of Fincher and Fassbender.
It's perfectly average for me.
The question is it a good or a bad movie? Yeah. Average is, it is average. So I guess it is good.
Look, I don't think I would recommend this movie to anybody.
No, Nima was supposed to watch this movie last night. She fell asleep in the first minute, and she woke up this morning. I'm like, you did good, hon. You did.
Yeah.
Now the meat of the episode.
It's your favorite part.
The meat of the episode. Yeah. A good 6-inch chub.
Not 9-inch nails.
No, not 9-inch nails. A good 6-inch chub. The Mount Rushmore of scenes,
which
baby.
Is plenty.
Yeah, 6 is plenty.
So Mount Rushmore. These are our 4 favorite scenes of the movie.
Just in case you forgot what Mount Rushmore was on this podcast.
Yeah, there are 4 presidents up there. We choose our 4 favorite scenes. That seems about right in most movies.
Yeah.
This one I had trouble. 3 I got pretty quickly. I had trouble with number 4. So I'm bringing the Eddie Guerrero bit back. So I'm going to lie.
Steal and cheat.
I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
And it's not much of the movie, but it's every time Fassbender shows a fake passport. By the way, the character is unnamed in this movie. He's just the killer.
Yes. Everyone's unnamed in this movie. You got the killer, the lawyer, the expert, the Floridian, whatever.
Anyway, anytime he shows a fake passport and it's a 1970s television character, he's Archie Bunker or George Jefferson.
Oh, I have BJ. I have that in my trivia. So I have them all. Felix Unger from the Odd Couple.
Yeah.
Like you said, Archie Bunker from All in the Family. Oscar Madison from the Odd Couple. Howard Cunningham from Happy Days. Reuben Kincaid from the Patriarch Family. Lou Grant from Mary Tyler Moore Show. Sam Malone from Cheers. And George Jefferson from the Jeffersons. And Robert Hartley from the Bob Newhart Show.
Yeah, I found that mildly entertaining throughout this movie, and I was excited when he brought his passport out to see who it was going to be.
Awesome. It was a great bit, and I love we love when directors do bits in movies.
Yeah, and that bit landed for me. I don't know if it did for other people, but it did for me.
Nice. Being a single child, being raised from parents that grew up with those shows, I'm sure they were always on in the living room.
Yeah, those were the reruns during the summer.
Yeah.
It was, the Happy Days and Three's Company.
My parents were significantly younger than you, so I found no joy in that. I just read the trivia. I didn't even notice. So my number 4 scene is the opening WeWork scene.
Okay.
I love the fact that it was in an abandoned WeWork building.
I did kind of find it cool putting the modern technology into this, and the WeWorks reference.
Mm-hmm.
I did find that entertaining, and this was building up really nicely at this point in the movie.
At this point in the movie, I'm enthralled. I am into it. I love it. It's a good movie. I love Fassbender's character. I love the narration, the setup. This whole scene, I enjoyed. I even didn't mind him fucking up the kill. It didn't make sense to me. He explained how close the shot was, his high-powered rifle, how there's not going to be any mess-ups. He had the shot numerous times, didn't take it. Don't understand how he fucked up the shot. One of those things where we see that he's not really a good assassin.
And I kind of thought the movie was going to go in this direction of he thought he was great and wasn't. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not what happens at all. But at the time, I damn sure thought that. I was like, what an interesting concept.
Right.
A guy thinks he's the best in the world at something, but he's not really that great. This is going to be interesting.
It's not how it went.
It did not.
Your third favorite scene?
I called it the Florida Man scene.
Okay. This is your third?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you why it's not the second. He followed the guy to a titty bar. And I was like, unnecessary strip club scene in a movie, one of my favorites. Love this. Love the unnecessary strip club scene. And then they didn't go in.
Yeah, they sure didn't.
But the fight was awesome.
The fight was wicked cool.
It was so cool.
Fight was... It's worth looking up the Florida scene on this movie or skipping to it. It's all split up in chapters, so you can skip to it really easily. And the fight scene's incredible.
I'm going to hold off because I know this is on your list, so I'm going to hold off on the fight scene until we get to yours.
Okay.
But that's when we'll have the fight scene discussion.
Okay.
I just had to bring up how disappointed I was that we didn't have the unnecessary strip club scene.
Fair. My third favorite scene I know doesn't make your list because we've talked about how much you didn't like this scene. But for me, this is the only scene that had a twist in the movie. And it's when he shot the cab driver.
I just didn't understand how it played into the movie.
I didn't either. It upset me when it happened.
Like, I get it. Fincher is not a guy who has your typical protagonist.
Yeah.
Right? They're always a little dark, a little twisted. Ben Affleck's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
In Gone Girl, right? But he's still better than Rosamund Pike, who just fucking eviled his ass. Great movie.
Incredible. It's on the pod. Listen to it.
Yeah. And if you want a Fincher movie, that's a good start. But yeah, I didn't understand it. And then he never killed a innocent person again. Yeah. I don't know why. Cab Driver was a pretty good performance, I thought.
I thought so too.
But it just what it meant to the movie, hated it.
Fair. Your second favorite scene?
Second favorite scene is the WeWorks opening office scene.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think we covered pretty much anything.
Okay.
I was enjoying the narration at this point in the movie, actually, because it's very book-like.
Yes.
In setting you up and just kind of building that mystique and kind of building your anticipation. And then he misses the shot. And you're like, ooh, all right, let's go. And then he's kind of a bumbling idiot after he misses the shot. Like he's kind of freaking out and panicking and not really sure what to do.
Yeah, because what was going to happen if you landed the shot? The same shit was going to go down.
Yeah.
Why are you freaking out right now? You killed the wrong person. You were still going to kill someone. The cops were still going to be called.
Yeah, that glass was going to shatter. Everyone was going to freak out. There was multiple people in that house. They were going to call the cops.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
My second favorite scene, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's your first scene because it hasn't been talked about yet, but it's the New York dinner scene.
Yeah, the scene with Tilda Swinton.
The best acting of the whole movie. She was incredible.
Both of them were.
Both of them were, but I had spent the whole movie getting to know Fassbender's character. I knew how he was going to act. She blew me away in this scene.
I knew everything I needed to know about the character within 30 seconds of her talking.
Yep.
It was so good. Tilda Swinton's amazing.
Yes.
If they would have had 4 more scenes like this, I think it could have overcome. Well, the ending's still really bad.
Yeah.
It could have overcome a lot with 3 or 4 more dialogue scenes like this one.
I agree. It was so tense, and almost had no reason being that tense.
You knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You knew she was going to get got.
Yep.
And she knew she was going to get got. And it took nothing away from how good this scene is.
Such a good scene. I would rewatch this scene I would rewatch this movie for the Florida scene and in this scene.
And both of those scenes are what, less than 5 minutes?
Yes. Yes, less than 5 minutes. Anything else you want to say? Oh, no, I'll let you say more about it when you say it, if you have anything more.
Well, it's already my number one.
Yeah, go ahead.
We know that. Even before the restaurant, when he drives up to her in the car.
Oh, he's like, homeboy said he looked like a Q-tip. Not far off. Incredible.
Great line.
He had some funny lines in this movie.
Yeah, it wasn't an unfunny movie.
Yeah.
Not enough of them to make it.
That's a foreshadowing. My dick's so hard right now. I love foreshadowing. Had to let y'all know. Sorry, guys. Sorry, BJ. I'm trying to put it down. But it's only 6 inches, so it's not like it's making...
I got more than 6 or 8 minutes to live.
My number one scene, like we already said, is the Florida fight scene.
If there's a scene in a movie we can describe as Florida fight scene, it's probably making our list.
Yes. There should have... The only reason Michael Fassbender won this fight is because he's the protagonist of the movie. There should have been no reason he won this fight. This guy was a fucking monster.
That guy got a table leg right through the ball sack.
And kept going.
Am I right? Did that table leg go through his ball sack?
It went somewhere. Ball sack, anus, upper thigh. I don't know, but some were painful.
He was bleeding a lot.
Yeah. He wasn't making it out of the fight. But he should have killed Michael Fassbender. That dude was ruthless. That was one of the most intense fight scenes I've ever seen on a movie. The TV that I watched it on last night sucked asshole, so I have to go back and rewatch this fight scene.
Oh, so we didn't even bring this up, but so essentially the plot is after he fails the assassination, bad guys come to his house and put his wife,
girlfriend, whatever,
in the hospital. I wish we could have seen that scene with him and Tilda Swinton.
Yes, I do too.
I think that would have bumped this movie up a little bit too.
I do too.
Especially after seeing that guy in that fight scene. He looked so menacing.
Yes. He was awesome. Love that scene. So yeah, everyone go watch that scene. It's incredible.
Yeah, if you want to take that 5 minutes of that fight and the 5 minutes of Tilda Swinton
this is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
If you had 2 more of each of those scenes.
And like I said, it'll only take you 10 minutes. And if you watch those, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So neither of us like this movie that much. I have no other honorable mentions. Do you have any other honorable mentions in this, as you called it, shitty movie?
I actually do have an honorable mention.
Okay.
My honorable mention is definitely the banana scene.
Oh, in New Orleans?
Yeah, because he ate a banana. And I loved it.
And this is kind of an inside joke between us, and I guess now everybody that listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
In our determination, a major sign of maturity for a man is being able to eat a banana in public.
Yep.
And you can't prove me wrong.
Nope.
That's when you really become a man, is when you're just like, I'm in public, I don't care, I'm going to eat this phallic looking object.
Yeah. Because bananas are delicious.
Bananas are great.
I love corn dogs.
Corn dogs, wonderful. Sausage links.
Yep. Hot dogs.
Yeah.
All of it. Feed me more 6-inch long things. And then, of course, right after the banana scene, we get him sneaking into the lawyer's office.
The sneaking into the office, I thought, was way better than the dialogue with the lawyer in the office.
I did too. The sneaking in the office was cool. Well, that's the Mount Rushmore of scenes. What's our movie-related talk?
I think this one's going to be pretty short this week. And I think it's going to be an easy answer. Is this Fincher's worst movie?
I don't know. It definitely is. You have Alien 3, which I know you don't consider a Fincher movie, but I do know a couple years ago he did. Where is it on here? Manned, I think it's what it's called.
Mank.
So until I
haven't seen Mank. You haven't seen The Game with Michael Douglas either.
No, I have not. Is that worse? Is that worse in this movie?
Oh no.
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. It's not it is wild. We have to do it on the podcast.
Let's do it.
And it has podcast favorite Michael Douglas.
Show us your dick, Michael Douglas.
We've got to do The Game.
I've missed saying that.
It's crazy.
This is the worst. This is the worst David Fincher movie I've ever seen because I even liked Aliens 3. Like whatever. Like it's a shitty sci-fi movie. Most sci-fi movies are shitty. I don't know what you want to. I don't know what you want to say.
Like Alien doesn't need a trilogy.
No, but there's 4 movies in Alien.
It needed 1.
No, it needed 2.
Two's not bad.
Two's good. Two's good.
1's a classic.
Yes.
2's watchable.
Yes. No, 2's not watchable. 2's James Cameron. 2's incredible. Watch Aliens. Right. Watch Aliens again. 6.
It's been a while.
2's incredible. Maybe we do that on the pod just so you can see how incredible it is. Okay, character breakdown. This should be pretty easy too.
We have Michael Fassbender as, like I said, no name, just the killer. I think we've beaten this horse to death.
I do too.
He's not a good assassin.
No.
And not from what we saw in this movie.
No.
He told us he was a good one.
But from what we saw, he was not. And he showed us many times how he wasn't. Unprofessional as fuck. Whatever. Kind of upsetting that this was Fassbender's first role in 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, it was his first role in 4 years.
That's disappointing.
Isn't it?
He's not bad in it, though.
No, it's just the movie just was a major letdown. That's all. You have this as Assassin Network boss guy?
Yes.
Also, everyone has a name in this movie. They're just stupid. Assassin Network boss guy is way cooler than his given name, The Lawyer. I like Assassin Network boss guy. That's way better.
I didn't know how else to explain it.
That was perfect. It was better than The Lawyer.
Again, I thought a good performance. I believed that he had the role he had. I believed he was cunning. I believed he lacked empathy. I believed all of that. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my.
I liked his assistant more than I liked him.
His assistant was good too. Yeah, she was more critical to the movie than he was.
I thought so too, and I liked how she knew what was going to happen. She was like, "Just please don't make me disappear. My kids need my life insurance policy. Like I know you're going to kill me. Please make it look like however you want to."
I've been paying into this life insurance policy. Make sure my kids get the $1.5 million or whatever it is.
Yeah, please.
I don't know.
And
I'm assuming if you have that job, I'm assuming you've got a pretty high life insurance.
I would imagine. Liked her a lot, way more than The Lawyer, or excuse me, Assassin Network boss guy.
I've got ridiculous character names because the next one is just Florida Man.
That's what he was called.
Was it?
Yeah. My favorite bad reviews of this movie, and I hope it's not in this review. I don't think it is because I refuse to show it to you because it's so great, in my opinion. But it was just like the Florida assassin hit guy has one gun on his nightstand. I've been to tons of houses in Florida, and they have 10 times more guns.
Out, too. Just out.
Yeah. My favorite thing over COVID, by far living in Texas, was all of a sudden Texans just started going, they do it in Florida. When the fuck did that become the benchmark we were okay with?
What a horrible benchmark.
Oh my God. They do it in Florida. I don't fucking care.
Do you know who says that? People who have never been to Florida.
Yeah. 100%.
Or they went to Miami once. By the way, Miami's not Florida.
No. What's your next guy?
Oh, I just have Tilda Swinton.
Her name was The Expert.
Stupid.
Yeah.
If I was reading,
you should have put it as Q-tip.
I almost did, but it's Tilda Swinton. We all know Tilda Swinton. Yeah. Tilda Swinton's great. Tilda Swinton was great. Tilda Swinton, in my opinion, had the best scene in the movie.
I mean, if the Florida fight scene wasn't so great, that would have been my number one scene too.
I wish that was the final showdown. I wish it was between those two, Michael Fassbender and Tilda Swinton, the entire movie. There was a back and forth, even though they weren't meeting each other, and you knew it was going to come down to those two. Let's see who's better, the expert or the killer. If I read this book and those were those names, I don't think I could finish this book.
Hell no.
Just give them fucking names.
It's not that hard.
Rebecca.
Nailed it.
So mad, Jacob. So mad.
This movie made me that mad too. I'm right there with you.
Do we need to talk about the final character who I called the guy who originally paid for the hit?
I didn't dislike him. I was upset that Fassbender didn't kill him and killed the taxi driver.
Yeah.
It just made no sense to me.
Especially because it's super, David Fincher, anti-corporate, anti-materialistic, kill the rich, eat the rich kind of person.
They even brought that up throughout the movie. It's like the many are controlled by the few. And at the end of the movie, he's like, I happen to be part of the many. Why didn't you kill one of the few then?
Yeah. You had a chance. You had a chance to eat the rich and you didn't eat the rich. And this is Fincher. Kill the rich guy.
Right? So yeah, that upset me. But I didn't, he actually kind of cracked me up in his, how he was with this trainer. And
yeah.
He was actually a funny character that was on screen for a very short amount of time. I was just upset that he didn't kill him and we killed the taxi driver, a working man.
I kind of stopped paying attention at this point in the movie when I knew the Fincher turn wasn't coming. Why did he originally have the hit put out on him?
Because he missed.
No. On the original guy.
Oh, nobody knows.
Well, that's even more lame.
Yeah.
I thought I missed something.
No, you
Apparently
didn't.
I didn't.
No,
okay.
No. Nope.
Cool.
My second favorite part of this pod.
Facts and trivia.
We haven't done this in quite some time. I started my trivia, and I'm so glad I started with this trivia because now we can talk about this for half a second. It's one of the things you hated most about this movie. We didn't talk about it on things we don't like, but it has to do with the music.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring it because, I liked the score. When it was just background.
Yeah.
In the background of the movie, that score was really cool. And then there was just random 5-second clips of the Smiths.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was on a headphone. Sometimes it was on a car speaker. Sometimes it was clear. I didn't understand what he was going for there. Other than I'm sure Fincher loves the Smiths. He definitely had a poster when he was in college of the Smiths.
Every song in this movie is a Smith song.
Yeah.
So yeah, he loves the Smiths. You're going to think this is cool and you're also going to be annoyed by it. But I'm sure they did this because so many people watch Netflix movies on their phone or tablets or whatever. Similar to Baby Driver in the opening chapter when the killer is listening to music with one earbud in, watching the film with headphones on, the music only plays on that side when the film shows POV shots.
I don't care.
It's kind of cool, but it's also
Sure.
Fuck off.
Yeah. That's pretty pretentious.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I'm glad I started with that. The graphic novel, The Killer, written by Alexis Nolet, illustrated by Luc Jacquemont, has been a passion project for David Fincher for nearly 20 years. So this movie's 20 years in the making, BJ.
It's just a bad story.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense that it was a graphic novel. That makes even more sense than generic airport thriller.
Yeah. On that same note, David Fincher was considering numerous projects for his follow-up to Mank. However, it wasn't until he met Michael Fassbender and they had several meetings together about this project. After having many in-depth discussions and seeing how committed Fassbender was in doing it, Fincher decided to make The Killer. It being Michael Fassbender's first film in 4 years following Dark Phoenix in 2019.
X-Men, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the second feature film in a 4-year exclusive deal between David Fincher and Netflix.
Oh, so we got more. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Hopefully they're better than this.
I hope so. In 2008, Fincher originally thought of Brad Pitt for the role of the killer, but Pitt said it was a little too nihilistic for him.
And instead, he did Bullet Train, which is way more fun.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited to see that movie.
Okay.
There's no reason I haven't seen it yet.
That's so weird. I figured a movie called Bullet Train, you would have seen it immediately.
You would think so, and multiple times since then. But I haven't for some reason. I'll have to change that soon. Maybe we do it on the pod. That's a good podcast movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's
got your boy Michael Shannon in it.
I know it does. I know the movie.
Okay.
I just, for some reason, I haven't seen it. Every now and then a movie pops up like that, and for some reason I don't see it, and it doesn't fucking make sense for me.
That's happened to me, and I'm sure most of the people listening. Like, I don't know why I haven't seen this movie. Yeah, because
this movie's literally made for me.
It's been streaming for a year now.
Yeah. This bit of trivia kind of blew my mind. This is the second collaboration between Fincher and Andrew Kevin Walker following Seven. So they hadn't worked together since Seven, and Walker did an uncredited writing for Fincher's The Game in 1997 and Fight Club in 99. How do you go 20 years without working with someone that worked on those movies with you? Yeah. That just kind of blew my mind. I just wanted to throw that in there because I was like, wow.
Especially a movie as beloved as Seven. I figured they would have just done some money grab together at the very least.
Yep. These next three I put on here because I've never seen anything like this on trivia. The American Humane monitored the animal action and no animals were harmed, according to AH 1142-9. There's codes. The next one has a code too. This film benefited from the incentives of Law Number 108-10 for the promotion of the film industry in the Dominican Republic, Single Shooting Permit Number 688. Means nothing to us. I was like wild that they put this in the trivia. And the film benefited from the French tax rebate for international production.
Get them tax rebates. Take advantage of the government.
Hell yeah. At 57 minutes and 45 seconds, the killer says 3 9-gauge nails in the voiceover after penetrating the lawyer with a nail gun. 9 Inch Nails, a.k.a. NIN, is the name of the band Trent Reznor founded in 1988 with Atticus Ross as the only other member in 2013. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are the composers of the movie's score.
Yeah, they did Gone Girl, too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's my trivia. Not a whole lot. New movie.
They're very rare leads, but that's some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a while.
Oh, God.
We are going to do our narration voice for this movie.
Perfect choice. What else could you do?
I don't know. There was no dialogue. I guess we could do a Tilda Swinton. You don't want to hear either of our Tilda Swinton impressions.
No, they're not good. Okay.
I'm the best at what I do. From what you've seen, I had one assassination attempt and failed it miserably. Was it because my heartbeat was at 61 beats per minute? Was it because the glass was double paned and I didn't account for that? Oh, wait, I did account, even for the pane of the glass. How does that not move the bullet? I don't fucking know. But I know this. I suck at my job. All right, you can beat that. I think you can beat that.
I'm going to.
I hope you do.
You want to know why I'm good at my job? Because I'm good at sex. It's 2 in the pink and 1 in the stink. And you feel how tight both of them are just like that. And that's how I shoot my victims. Nice and tight. Nice and wet. Oh, wait, no. I'm getting confused. The important thing here is I don't give a fuck. So even if I talk about sex, you'll know that I'm talking about assassinations. When I'm talking about assassinations, you know that I'm talking about sex. Because life is sex. 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. Also, maybe I'm not good at sex. So I'm not good at my job. Fuck.
That sounded like an internal monologue that you've had before.
Yes. And that's how the movie should have ended.
Just right then.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I'm actually not good at sex or my job.
Yeah. As he's sitting there on that beach chair next to his girlfriend. Never going to be able to satisfy her again. Ah! Every time I do some stupid yell like that, I think of Robert Downey Jr. in Satan's Alley, the fake trailer in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, all right. So, movie rankings. What is you already said your final ranking, right?
Yeah, 5.2.
So this was weird for me because I kind of enjoyed the movie while I was watching it, but once it ended, I kind of hated it.
Okay.
So I was like, watching it, I was like, I'm kind of like 7 enjoying myself.
Okay.
And then when it ended, I'm like, oh, this movie might be like a low 4s. So I'm going to meet in the middle and give it a 5.8.
Okay. Fair. It doesn't deserve any higher than a 6.
I could not in good faith put this movie above a 6. So I'm happy with the 5.8 I gave it.
I'm happy with that too. I don't have to be mad at you. I don't want to be mad at you on our first pod in 7 months.
Before we do good reviews and bad reviews from IMDb, I'm going to squeeze the critics in right here. What do you want to do first, good or bad?
Let's do good because they're all wrong.
All right. So the good critic reviews from The Guardian, who gave this movie a 100 on Metacritic. It's all entertainingly absurd, and yet the pure conviction and deadpan focus that Fassbender and Fincher bring to this ballet of anonymous professionalism makes it very enjoyable. And there are moments when the veneer of realism is disquieting.
Shut the fuck up.
Another 100 from Richard Roper of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Told you critics love this movie.
David Fincher's The Killer is a meticulously crafted and masterfully rendered film about a meticulous and masterful assassin. You're a writer, you just said meticulous and masterful back to back. And when Michael Fassbender in the lead role, you just couldn't have had a better triangle of material, director, and actor.
Gross. I hate when professional writers do something that stupid. Meticulous and masterful. Shut up.
Well, he says it twice. He says The Killer is meticulously crafted and masterfully rendered film about a meticulous and masterful assassin.
Yeah.
That's 6th grade English class, bro.
Yeah. You're a professional writer. You get paid for this.
And
you have one more?
I sent you this screenshot earlier today.
Yeah, this is great.
From the Globe and Mail in
This
Toronto.
is part of my foreshadowing, everyone.
This is David Fincher's version of a sitcom. As violently funny as it is, hilariously violent.
What the fuck does that even mean? What movie did this guy watch?
I was like...
Was it The Killers with Ashton Kutcher?
Is that movie hilariously violent and violently hilarious?
It's got to be more so than this movie.
Maybe it was the Coen Brothers movie Lady Killers.
Maybe, because it's not this movie.
Anyway, those are the good critic reviews.
Let's hear the right ones.
From the New York Times. The character is boring, and so is this movie. But like the supremely skilled Fincher, who can't help but make images that hold your gaze, even as your mind wanders, Fassbender does keep you watching. That's a perfect review of this movie.
I agree with that.
That's a great review of this movie.
Yep.
I like this one too. I got to just do one more. This is another one from the Chicago Tribune. A sleek, tight, fastidiously executed nothing.
Awesome.
which also is spot on for this movie.
Yes, it 100% is.
Oh, you want to hear one from the Wall Street Journal? It's just a one-liner.
Yes.
I dearly wished someone from Wickland would emerge to take out this self-aggrandizing dunce.
Awesome. Me too, bro. Me too.
So that's what the critics had to say. What did the people have to say, Jacob?
The people. Are you ready? Because I have it.
Let's go.
Okay, so for good reviews from Cosmaz P2, titled The Filmmaker, 10 out of 10. The Filmmaker. No pun intended. It's not a pun.
Like The Killer, the filmmaker?
Mhm.
Like, what do you mean not intended? It's exactly what you intended.
Yeah, it's also a shitty pun. Like, it doesn't even work.
Okay.
No pun intended. It's been a few days since I watched the movie, and I got to thinking about what I saw. Always good to sleep on a movie of this caliber, of this size, of this magnitude even. I'm going out on a limb here, without having read any other reviews, to say that for me, this feels like Fassbender playing a different version of Fincher. David Fincher is a perfectionist. The things Michael Fassbender, our main character here, says at the beginning, and over again during the course of the movie, they sound like mantras that in a different sense are true for Fincher too, But no matter how well you play something, something always can and will go wrong. The movie has many different sections, and while Fincher did Fight Club, nothing is going to prepare you for that one fight scene in this movie. I agree with that.
Yep.
I did not know he had it in him. Sorry for the pun.
Oh, the table leg in the asshole?
I guess so. That didn't make sense when I first read it, but that might be what it is. And goes for Fassbender and Fincher accordingly. But it's not just the action, it's the patience the movie displays and the viewer has to have. The first 20 to 30 minutes, I did not stop the time in the theater, are quite slow to say the least. It's about preparation. It is about, well, again, you could draw comparisons to filmmaking, the making of and the way it is consumed, but the movie continues to test its audience.
Get off Fincher's dick, bro.
No kidding, man. And also, learn how puns work. We're a punny podcast here, and you suck at them. I love this bad review. It's a little longer than I typically like to do, but it's so good.
Let's hear it.
It's called From Joe Prod Design 13. 1 out of 10. The assassination who wants background checks for a tin of tuna. I can't decide if this movie was created out of spite or by AI. Let's start with the openings.
I did feel like it was very AI written.
Right, me too.
Mainly because the characters didn't have names.
Let's start with the opening scene. Our hero uses a rifle with subsonic rounds to take out a fat bloke in Paris. Our expert assassin mentions at the distance there will be no bullet drop, so I can assume it will be traveling at close to the speed of sound. Of course, a Parisian prostitute stopped the bullet. Even in this world where women are made of Kevlar, a semi-automatic rifle would have solved the issue. Again, he mentioned the close distance, so no need for a bolt action. When stalking the Floridian, the main character says there should be a 30-minute day walking period for creatine. I wonder how this would work. You go to the supermarket and order your chicken for the next month? Sorry, sir. Due to your criminal conviction in 2008, I can't serve you this fillet of salmon. I think the writers may admit steroids, but still dumb.
It was a joke, dude. Calm down.
The MC kills everyone without emotion, but leaves the last guy alive for some reason. He literally killed a taxi driver because he saw his face, but the final guy is free to go. The part where he goes into the gym and mentions the bodyguard isn't Mossad irked me. How does he know? The guy could have literally been checking his phone. Do Mossad agents have magic Jewish telepathy that I'm unaware of, so they have no need for phones? The other assassins travel by private plane, which makes it easier to do shady stuff. The MC flies cattle class. Why? Back to the Floridian. He is an assassin whose only weapon is a nightstand Glock. I have known normal Floridians who have a firearm in every room and one in their truck. Also, our emotionless killer can't shoot a dog for some reason. What is with the crazy amount of product placement? The gun seller says something like, "Damn, my boy knows his way around a subcompact Glock." This genuinely made me laugh. I can't imagine having the balls to insult someone like this to their face. Also, the microphallic silencer was hilarious. Finally, after killing a few people, he is free to sit by a pool with his spicy Latina wife, so there are zero consequences for what he did. There were 2 Rolodexes filled with people in that industry. None of them are going to come for him at his house where they know he lives. Like I said, this movie was made out of spite, trying to be a cerebral action thriller that is somehow dumber than the competition.
That guy liked it less than we did.
Yes, he did.
He's got some good points in there,
He
though.
does have incredible points. I love this review. But yeah, those are my good and bad reviews. God, it's been fun. I miss talking about movies. I miss watching movies for the pod.
I both of those, yes. So we watched it. Would you recommend it to anybody?
No.
I don't think I would.
I'd recommend it if they don't have it on YouTube, skipping to the fight scene and to the experts, and just listen to the podcast. You'll know exactly how the whole movie goes. You'll know the intensity that you need for that last talking scene.
If you're on a plane or something, it's probably not a bad watch, because I thought the 2 hours went by pretty quick.
The 2 hours did go by pretty quick. It's a good airplane movie.
But it's still 2 hours, and it's nothing special whatsoever.
So don't watch it unless you're on an airplane. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
I don't know what we have next week, but it'll be something.
It'll be something.
We're back, baby.
Fucking movies are back.
Fucking movies
We're
are
back. Let's go.
We're all ready for multiple first times. And I know y'all are too. Thank you for being here for us. The 4 listeners we have, but mostly David.
We do this whole thing for just your brother.
Yeah, we do it just for David. He should start helping us out with the Atla2 and Spreaker subscriptions.
Editing for us or something.
Something. Fucking asshole. Anyways, see y'all next time.
Bye.